And on tonight, off the back of the masterful, virtuoso performance by Nikola Jokic in Game 5, we have a Game 6 in Minnesota. The Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The game is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Denver is up 3-2. Now, last game, Jokic was unbelievable, right? He was barbecue chicken the entire game. 40 points, 13 assists, 2 steals, 7 rebounds, 0 turnovers. I apologize to him because I lost sight of what I had always known. It is tough to beat a dominant big man without another dominant big man. Minnesota has 2 big men. Neither of them, unfortunately, are dominant. And so, Anthony Edwards tonight can have the game of his life. But because of Jokic's style of play, the way he can put pressure on you, when he decides to go, he gave the Minnesota Timberwolves no life in Game 5. Anytime they went on a 6-0 run, 5-0 run, 8-0 run, he would immediately, if he was out the game, they would call a timeout and he would come in. If not, he would immediately, and if he was already in the game, he would immediately call damn near an isolation on Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns or whoever the fuck is on him, and just go and get a bucket, and he would snuff out the fire just that quickly. He wouldn't even let them get a 10-0 run. Just a great understanding of time, points, situation, the team you're playing against. Just a great understanding of these things, right? And especially for a big man that presents so many mismatches the way he does. The defensive player of the year for him is a mismatch. You know, Gilbert Arenas, Kenyon Martin, and then we're talking on the show, and I agree. He's not a great on-ball defender. He averages a lot of blocks because he's a great weak side defender. It's no different to what I've always said about, you know, other players like LeBron, for example. There's no disrespect to him. When he would get scored on in one-on-one situations, people would be like, oh my God, how the fuck does that happen? And it's like, it's not his strength. He can do it. It's not his strength. He's a better weak side defender where he could anticipate what you're going to do and meet you at the top and use his athleticism. Gobert is very similar in he gets his blocks on weak side help. He's not clamping people up one-on-one. Not big guys. Let alone a guy that can pull him out all the way to the three-point line. I've spoken a lot about how Denver has kind of switched the way Jokic has been catching the ball. He's catching it at the slot with no strong side corner so that entire side of the floor is open. You cannot send a double team. Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year, is on an island. The irony in this is he had 40 points and 13 assists last game. And they won the game, obviously. I would play him differently. I would say go get a record in points tonight. We got to hold him to 5 assists or less. Karl Anthony Towns, you have size. You can move your feet. You have to take that challenge. And you can't care about how much he scores. Because great players will make great plays. The better offense will always trump great defense. You can play the best defense of your life and a guy can still make the shot. That doesn't mean you didn't play good defense. And I think in this series, at times, he's done a better job than Rudy Gobert on defense. Rudy Gobert has just been getting cooked the entire time. And I think that Jokic has taken that matchup personally. But if I'm Minnesota, I would want to turn this into a one-on-one game against whoever Jokic's matchup is. We cannot let Aaron Gordon get hot. We can't let Michael Porter Jr. get hot. We can't let Jamal Murray get hot. It can't happen. Let's see. Is this the one that I was... Excuse me. Is it here? Bro. Like, some people don't even know. That's Aaron Gordon right here in the white, by the way. Like, some people don't even know outside of the dunk contest that Aaron Gordon has this one-on-one game in his bag. Step backs, pull-ups, fadeaways, like going toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant. Look at that. Off the wrong foot, faded away. And that guy, just to give him his flowers, that guy with that kind of ability who can score with Kevin Durant takes a back seat to a player like Aaron Gordon, to a player like Jokic, to a player like Murray. Just to show you how deep this Nuggets team is. And I was talking about Minnesota kind of reminds me of them in the sense they have size at every position. This is what they need. This is how good you guys have to be individually so that when you guys come together and play your roles and someone needs to step up, you're capable of it. Aaron Gordon, for the last couple of years, ever since he's been on Denver, has been known as a dunker, but for a while in Orlando, he was getting buckets. Right? And to see him transform his role for the betterment of the team it's a really cool thing to see. It's a super cool thing to see. And like I said, Jokic is still incredible. But I think that they could do something else. Force him to go one-on-one. Switch out Cat and Aaron Gordon. Right? And this is the thing if you're Gobert. You guys are probably going to lose this series anyway. I think Denver wins tonight. But force Aaron Gordon to hit 6 3-pointers. Force him to go 6 of 12, 6 of 13. Force Jokic to have 50 points on 35, 40 plus shots. Like, this is what you're going to have to do. Right now, Gobert can't guard him because if anyone's ever watched, fighting, MMA, boxing, When Jokic drives on Gobert, he is biting on every fake. Kind of like when a fighter is sending you like feints and the motherfucker is just reacting to everything. That's what Gobert is doing. And it shows that you don't have the tools to be able to play this guy 1v1-on-1. You need to be able to pick a side, anticipate a spot. He's only got so many moves. Right? If he's going right, he's probably going to spin. He might have a behind the back, or he'll step back. Force him to have to do a step through and put up a crazy shot. Force him into step back one-legged threes. But to allow him to get all the way in the paint and then you're biting on every fake, and now he's just going up and under, hook shots, floater, like he is doing everything he wants. And you need to try to take something away. Whether it's if you got to run all the fucking way back when he start driving to force him to shoot a mid-range shot, or to force him to pull up or step back. But you can't play him the way that you've been playing him. This playing in fear of what he's about to do to you has put you guys on your heels. You guys need to do something a little bit different. But like I said, for tonight, I think, unfortunately for me, I think the Denver Nuggets close it out. I would love to see a Game 7. I picked the Timberwolves to be in the Western Conference Finals against Shea, and now neither of these picks are looking very good. They're both down 3-2. But, you know, I'm watching things as it goes, and it looks like Denver wins tonight. Just telling you what I see. We would need some miracle. We would need Karl Anthony Towns to transform into someone that we haven't seen him be yet. It's going to be that kind of performance that's going to put them over the top. Because I think Anthony Edwards is going to show up. Oh, and by the way, Jamal Crawford was talking about it during the game the other night. They got to stop running pick and rolls. Because the Denver Nuggets have decided that Anthony Edwards isn't going to beat them. They are doubling him every single time on a pick and roll. So, his counter needs to be what Jokic has been doing. Just isolate a fucking side. Doesn't matter who it is. You've been able to blow by everyone. The best defender on you has been Aaron Gordon. But we have seen, if you can put him on his heels, you can step back and pull up. Or he'll try to block you so you can step through. Michael Porter can't do nothing with you. He's not physical enough, even though he's tall. KCP is too small for you. Jamal, everyone else is too small. The only issue would be Aaron Gordon, but if you're isolating him from the three-point line, using that first step, and then when you get in the mid-range, your bag, it's your best chance at being able to dominate that matchup. They got to stop calling pick and rolls for him and just let him score in isolation. Trust his isolation game. This game tonight, and in my opinion, is going to come down to one-on-ones. Who's going to win the one-on-one battles? Will Anthony Edwards be allowed to play one-on-one, and will he take those opportunities and take advantage of it? Will Minnesota force Jokic to play one-on-one to prevent the other players from getting involved? Because we've seen when you give Jokic options, he picks the best option every single time. Now, if you force him into only one thing and you don't give him other options, let's see what happens. If he goes score 60 and he beats you guys, then you shake that man's hand, you tell him good game, we'll see you guys next year. And that's it. Sometimes that's all it is. All this shit gets thrown out the window when great players are great. But you force him. You force him to have a historical game. You force him to have a great game. If they win tonight and he has 28 points, 15 assists, 15 rebounds, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. Because it feels like it might be one of those, and he goes and runs off like 10, 12 points in the fourth quarter and close the game out. Jamal Murray adds another like 10, 12 in the fourth. And we've seen this fucking story before. You have to do something to shake it up. Right? If he's gonna have a legendary game in the history books and have 60, at least you get to be a part of it too. Charlie Villanueva, a lot of people don't know. He said, "Hey man, I may never get a statue, but my name is on Kobe's." Because they were on the losing end of the 81 points. Hey, you get in where you fit in, right? If he's gonna be great, then he's gonna be great. But you gonna have to show me. That's what I would say. You gonna have to show me. And I think that's the mentality that Minnesota's got to go in with. They got to have some pride, right? Cat got to have some pride. Gobert got to have some pride. I know Anthony Edwards got pride because he did not play well the other day. And he'll respond. It's up to everyone else. But like I said, I got Denver winning this one.